Thanks for joining me on this video. If you haven't done so already, be sure to hit the subscribe button as well as the bell notification icon. That way you don't miss out on any new content on the channel. And also be sure to follow me on these other social media platforms. Links are in the description below. Alright, have and have not fans, here we are again with another video. This time we're talking about, well, to be honest, even though Veronica getting shocked was definitely one of the highlights of the episode, I feel like a lot more of the have and have not community was talking about Derrick's outburst during Hanna recounting the tale of when she got raped as a child, and of course that's how she had Candace. Now I might title this video something along the lines of, was Derrick crying out of sympathy, or was it like, was Derrick's tears from sympathy or guilt? And I think that now more than ever, people are really lining up to get aboard the Derrick is Candace's father train. And if you've been on this channel long enough, then you know, or if you've been on this channel even from the beginning of this year, you know that I've done probably, if not a dozen or so Derrick related videos about, is Derrick Candace's father? Is he the man with the lion tattoo? I even went so far as to do a video about, is Derrick Jeffrey's real father? Because we do know that he and Veronica had sex at least one time, after she released him from jail. But the question really remains, what kind of past is Derrick hiding? And when we find out what it is, we know that Veronica knows everything about him, but we also know he has connections with obviously some bad people, hence why he gave the list of names to Veronica. That's how she hired the hitman that set the car explosion in David and Erica's, Erica's car, which David and Erica were both caught in the explosion there. Now, I guess the question is this. I always thought of it as, being, a black man myself and growing up in a Baptist church and whatnot, it's rare that I've seen grown men cry. Rare, during a funeral, a close loved one, obviously, yes, there will be some tears shed. But it's rare that I see a strong black man cry, and Derrick is a deacon, so obviously he was around some praying people a lot. But I understand, because he really cares about Hanna. So Hanna talking about a dark tale from her past would obviously maybe cause him to shed a few tears. But there's a difference between connecting with someone in a moment and you cry because they cry, as opposed to you literally having an outburst, one where you're shedding even more tears than she or the other person is. So that's the real reason people are going up about, oh man, Derrick must be the guy. I mean, he over there crying. Like, I even made the joke that Derrick probably saw night 2 of the Bobby Brown story a night before everyone else. That's why he was crying so hard. Because, just a sidebar, that's why I haven't done videos over the past couple of days, because I've been focusing on the Bobby Brown story after the haves and have-nots went off Tuesday night. Powerful stuff. I'll do a video and live stream about the Bobby Brown stuff, but back to the haves and the have-nots. And people are like, man, how come Hanna can remember the tattoo but not the face? I'm going to chalk that up to a couple of reasons. Number one, Hanna said she and some friends were walking away from a party they had just drank or whatever, and she's like, oh, I only got a couple more blocks to my house. I'll make it by myself. Then, this guy was pursuing her and she was running, then hid under the porch, eventually went inside. Next thing you know, this guy's in her room raping her. I would imagine that since it's late at night, that she probably didn't get a good look at this particular man. But the tattoo is what stood out the most. Not to mention, it's probably been like, what? How old is Candace? Like upper 20s. So I'm guessing, like, let's just say 20 plus years. So I understand, like, some people you just don't forget. But considering it was late at night, obviously dark, not to mention, age happens, because obviously he might not look exactly the way he did 20 plus years ago. So I feel like until we actually get to see Derrick's back to know if he has a tattoo or not of a lion, then we won't know 100% for sure if he is Candace's father and the man that raped Hanna. But on top of that, the guilt part is something I don't really get, because I can't really say that Derrick would know if he actually raped Hanna. Because if you remember, let's just assume that during his past life, when he was running with the wrong crowd, Derrick was a rapist. I feel like maybe because he found God later on in his life and he repented and whatnot, he got saved. But at the same time, he wasn't saved from those feelings he had of deep regret. I mean, that's where I feel the guilt comes in, because I feel like maybe because, okay, there's this new woman in my life that I really care about, and guess what? She was a victim of what I used to do to women. So obviously that's going to strike a nerve in me and make me feel very, very sad and guilty. So, and this is just the way he's like, Hanna, I'm so sorry. You did not deserve that. It really did make it seem like Derrick was responsible. Sorry, chair creaking. I know I need to get the oil WD-40 or whatever. But I gotta admit, Tyler Perry, I'm really, really unsure of what to think, guys. I really, really am unsure of what to think about Derrick right now, because after saying for so long he's the guy, I don't want him to be the guy. But at the same time, it's like Tyler Perry's just feeding us more and more breadcrumbs per episode or whenever Derrick appears. But okay, so we already talked about the guilt factor, but let's just switch it over to the sympathy factor. I mean, the sympathy factor probably comes from, once again, a woman that he cares about actually went through a tremendously terrible experience. Perhaps Derrick's wife went through a rape incident when she was younger, or when they were married and he wasn't around because he was at work or whatever, and she got raped. Who knows? But, or maybe his mother got raped, or a sister, or somebody close to him. Who knows? I just want to throw that down the sympathy route, because I really don't look. Once again, I do understand a man crying if somebody close to him went through something traumatic, but the way he was crying lets me know that in his past he experienced rape. Either he was the one committing a rape, somebody close to him experienced a rape. Some people has even gone as far as like, well, when Derrick was in jail, maybe he got raped himself. I hope that's not the case. I just feel like that's a dark and twisted turn that doesn't really need to be added to the story. I mean, I guess I can see where people would draw that conclusion from, but I hope that isn't the case. I think for the sake of the story, it would be either Derrick was the one that raped Hanna without knowing it, obviously 20 plus years later, or somebody close to him experienced rape, or he was actually a rapist in his past and that's why he was arrested. I don't know. Or keep in mind, I mean, with that list of people he has that he gave Veronica, perhaps he knows people within that group that were rapists. I don't it's just rape, pillaging, and destruction and thievery. But in any case, I just wanted to leave it up to you all. What do you think Derrick was crying for? Was he crying out of sympathy for Hanna? Was he crying because of guilt? And guilt, goes back to everything I listed before. Either he raped her, and that will be revealed later on. He raped people in the past, or he knows people that did rape. I don't know. But in any case, let me know your thoughts on this particular subject. I really hope this video blows up, because once again, I do feel like this is the most talked about subject of the episode. Yeah, we had the Veronica shocking, but I really do feel that more people were talking about Derrick's outburst. And I'm very interested to see, or know, or hear, all the above, what Catherine and Derrick will be discussing at the end. Well, actually, in the next episode, Laugh Not to Cry, because they're talking outside. So I'm guessing this is after they're about to leave Hannah's place when Benny and Mitch show up.